This is Mr. Anderson for Kellogg Community College, Math 121 Intermediate Algebra, the first and second section of Chapter 5, the Introduction to Polynomials and Polynomial Functions, and Multiplication of Polynomials. Now we're going to start off today with looking at a quick example here. I have a polynomial function with 4 terms in it, and I'm going to describe to you some vocabulary words that we'll be using for this chapter. Let me get to a right color here. Okay, now, a polynomial is a group or a cluster of monomials. And a monomial is, they are numbers or variables multiplied together. So to give you some example of some monomials, like an example would be like 6 is a monomial. If you're thinking like, well, number of variables multiplied together, sure, you could have like 1 times 6, that makes 6. Also like 5x is a monomial. You can even have a number like x over 3 is a monomial. Like this could be x times 1/3, so it's technically still a monomial. Now if I have like x squared, y cubed multiplied by 5, that's a monomial too. Monomials are separated with pluses and minus signs to separate them, so they're individually, the monomials are called terms of the polynomial. So for example, 3x squared is a term, negative 5x is a term, 8x to the 4th is a term, and so is 12. Now, the degree is the highest power of the polynomial. So in this case, in my example here, the degree would be 4. Now, what I would suggest to do before doing the leading term and leading coefficient, we should probably arrange all of the above example in descending order. What we should do for good math grammar is to put your highest exponent first, followed by the next highest exponent, and followed by the next highest exponent until we get down to x to the 0 power, which is just no x's there. X to the 0 power is simplified to 1, so this is technically 12 times 1. So we arrange these in order of powers from greatest to least, and the leading term will then be 8x to the 4th once this is put in order, and the leading coefficient is 8. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable and not the variable itself. Now the next piece of the puzzle is to do a little bit of a calculator test to see how well you can input things into the calculator or do things by hand. Just like in chapter 2, we're going to be substituting things in for x. I think this is also done in chapter 1. So taking my equation from above, the equation that had the 8x in it as well. Hold on a second here. Click. Okay. Seem to be fumbling with the mouse up here today. Sorry about the delay. All right. So I have f of 3, which means that my 3 is going to get plugged in for the x, minus 5 times 3, plus 8 times 3 to the 4th power, plus 12. Now I could have plugged this into the equation in descending order, which I will do for the next equation, but it doesn't really matter when you input this. The order of operations, if done correctly, will give you an answer of 672. Now when you do this problem here, and I'll show you what it would look like if you substitute this into the calculator or do it by hand, it's very important to use parentheses here, because negative 1 to the 4th power in parentheses is positive 1. If you leave your parentheses off of most calculators, it will compute negative 1 to the 4th power as negative 1, because it won't consider the negative to be part of the 4th power there. So please make sure to put your negatives, or really anything you substitute, into parentheses, and that will clear up a lot on your calculation mistakes. Now if you type this into your calculator, you get an answer of 28. Okay, now for the second half of our little lecture today. This is a short one. We're going to do the multiplication of polynomials. Alright, starting off with just simple distribution. I prefer to use jumper cables here. to multiply from the outside to the inside. Now, what this problem does, it will not only test your ability to multiply, but also remember your exponential rules. 3xy times 2x squared y is equal to 6x cubed y squared. 2 times 3 is 6, x and x squared makes x cubed, notice how it adds, and then y and y make y squared, minus 12x squared y cubed. This is 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. X and x make x squared, y and y squared make y cubed. When we get to double distribution, otherwise known as FOIL, we like to go first, outside, inside, last. And since this is a review of Math 101, I'm not going to go through the long and slow process of FOIL. Now, what I do have is I do have other videos online, and please send me an email through the Keller Community College website if you want to see more of these, or just check my YouTube channel. 2x and 3x make a total of 6x squared. 2x and 7 make a total of 14x. Negative 5 and 3 make negative 15x, and negative 5 and 7 make negative 35. Now what I'm going to do is simplify the middle two terms here. 6x squared minus x minus 35. Most FOIL problems with a simple arrangement of x number is going to be able to be simplified in the middle. Please make sure you don't put a 1 in front of there. That is a non-simplified answer. This is a common mistake. A lot of us just go, well, this is just 4x squared plus 9. See, I just distributed that to the inside. You can't do that. That's not what the square means. The square means you have two of them multiplied by each other. So this is going to multiply by itself, and as you see, it's a FOIL problem. This makes 4x squared. This makes negative 6x, and this down here makes negative 6x, so the 6x's do not simplify, and this makes plus 9. Simplifying the middle two terms together, I got 4x squared minus 12x plus 9, and there's your answer. Not, I mean, yeah, it is a little close to what we did at the beginning here, but man, that's just totally the wrong way. And here we go, doing some triple distribution here. So we're going to go 3x squared, or sorry, 3x cubed, because x squared and an x make x cubed, plus 3x squared minus 3x. And then we have negative, okay, let me do the distributive property on there. Now, what I like to do is I like to stack them up if they are the same power. And that way, this is going to make simplification a lot easier. So this is 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 8x plus 5. All right, there's our distribution of that problem, and there's our simplified four-term answer. Now, the last problem here, going to take a little bit more room, so let me move this up here. First of all, can you hypothesize about how many cables this is going to take? This is going to take 9 cables, because the first 3 are going to be done from the first term to all 3 terms of the second part there. So this is going to be, and I'm going to write over here since I got some room, this is going to be 8x to the 4th plus 12x cubed minus 2x squared. Now my second row of 3 is going to be these 3 down here, which is going to give me negative 12, let's see, since I got x and x squared here, I'm going to have negative 12x cubed. Negative 3 and 6 is going to be negative 18x squared. And then the negative 3 and the negative 1 is going to be positive 3x. Now I'm going to change colors here so I can show you the third set of cables. The third set of cables will go from the 5 to each of these. So 1, 2, 3. So my first set of cable is going to be 5 to 4x squared. So this is going to be 20x squared. The 5 is multiplied then by the 6, which is going to make 30x. And the 5 and the minus 1 is going to be negative 5. I'll put these all together and get my final answer, which will conclude the video. Okay, my first term, my 8x to the 4th, didn't have anything below it, so 8x to the 4th. These x cubes, they are opposites, so they simplify to 0. These are also opposites. Negative 2 and negative 18 make a negative 20, which simplifies at the 20. The 3x and the 30 make 33x, and then minus 5. So my final answer is going to be 8x to the fourth plus 33x minus 5. All right, thanks for watching. If I made any mistakes or if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. Thank you.